Hello.
How do you do?
How y'all?
Doing really good. So why was Wonder Woman next on your slate?
It was kind of a no-brainer. I mean, we'd done a lot with, Batman had his own animated series, Superman had his own animated series. We kind of skipped Wonder Woman. I mean, she played a big part in the Justice League show, but she wasn't the lead character, and so it was just like kind of by mutual agreement with us and DC and the home video people that we should do a Wonder Woman movie like early on. So we did.
Was the timing ever mixed up with the issue of when they were doing Wonder Woman feature live action?
They didn't really have one thing didn't really have anything to do with the other. I mean, at that time, they were still actively developing a Wonder Woman movie, and as far as I know, they may still be. I think by the time we started ours, I think they'd already moved away from the Joss Whedon version into that other script that came in. So they were kind of in between. But in any case, it wasn't a conflict, and it wasn't like that we needed to try to hit a certain date to tie into their theatrical release. I think we knew at that point that wasn't going to happen immediately. So it was just kind of...
So, in Justice League, you guys did the Ares and Hippolyta story in Justice League. Was there a game plan from the very beginning of this project, how to differentiate it from the show?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that we wanted to do was, even though we've seen her origin story before, both in the Linda Carter show and a little bit on Justice League, we shoehorned her origin story into the very first episode of Justice League, so it kind of was condensed down to the point where we kind of had to make some major changes in her story, and boy, the fans won't let me forget it. So we figured this would be a good opportunity to actually go back and start at the beginning, do the origin story, do it right, hit all the beats that you want to see happen, and then take it from there.
What was your take on the Heath Ledger Joker? That's what everyone was asking us at the magazine.
We're here to talk about Wonder Woman.
I know, we will too, but I mean, you're famous for Batman.
I didn't think I was going to like the Heath Ledger Joker. The first time I saw the stills, I kind of went, "Oh, that's just grotesque. That's just nasty. I don't want to do it. I don't want to go anywhere near that." But I thought he was great. I thought it was really brilliant. I mean, it's obviously not the kind of Joker that I would have done, but I thought it was totally valid in terms of the whole Batman worldview that Christopher Nolan and his guys came up with. So I thought it was weirdly mesmerizing. I thought he was brilliant.
Thank you.
Sure.
And where's Susan Eisenberg?
What?
Where's Susan Eisenberg? I love her voice.
I love her voice too. Well, hopefully we get to work with her again someday.
So when you started coming up with storylines for the movie, where did you start mining from? I mean, there's years of comic books out there, some really good stuff out.
Right.
Did you start there? I mean, you just did New Frontiers, which was based on a real graphic novel.
Well, the thing is, there isn't really one finite Wonder Woman self-contained story the way the New Frontier is a self-contained story. Even the George Perez version, which is really, really good, but it's like 2.5 years of story that he did. So, I mean, we did pull a little bit here and there from what he did, but it's not specifically based on his version at all. The other thing too is I think George's version was so directly mythology based. He spent so much time with all the gods and stuff. It goes again to kind of our whole mandate on this whole line of films, is that we're doing them not just for comic book fans, even though we're definitely trying to appeal more directly to comic book fans than we did for TV. But we're also we're trying to appeal to a broader audience than just comic book fans. We're trying to appeal to a broad mainstream audience, and you don't want to get so inside and so continuity based that it's not appealing to a broad audience. So. We incorporated some stuff from the comics and some stuff even from like the Linda Carter show, even though this is not campy in any way, shape, or form. But again, I think some of the rough-hewn iconography of Wonder Woman, I think a lot of people, anybody in Middle America, when you ask them, what do you think of when you think of Wonder Woman? They immediately think of Wonder Woman. They think of Linda Carter and the spin and all that, and Steve Trevor. So these are these things that we just kind of like, as we've always done, going all the way back to Batman the Animated Series. we pull from all different previous sources, things from the TV shows and the movies and the comics, and all the things that we like the best and the things that we think are the most iconic. We mush them all together. And Justice League, I mean, those shows were pretty adult for what was supposed to be children's entertainment, but they dealt with some pretty dark and adult themes, and for the most part, I never felt too completely restricted by having to deal with the censors for children's entertainment. But occasionally you'd get to a certain point where it's just like, God, I wish Batman could just say "damn it," because that's the appropriate response in that given situation, and nothing else will do. There's no kid-approved euphemism that will work as well as "damn it," But in a PG-13 we can do it. Or time and time again, there's so many story instances where it's dramatically correct to have a character get killed off or just die, and even though we did that for TV, it was always tricky. You always had to bend over backwards to make sure that it was okay for the censors, that it wasn't gory, and maybe they didn't really die, maybe they could come back, and so. But here it's just like, okay, if we have to kill a character, they can die, no problem, as long as it's not too gory or too gratuitous, we can do it. So that's great. It's a little bit more freedom. It's not like we're dying to make gory, super sexy, foul-mouthed movies. It's nice to be able to go there if we have to. So,
you ever get tempted to do Marvel or any other Wildstorm? Wildstorm at least would be on the Warner side, but
yeah, Wildstorm's a possibility.
Planetary.
I can't name names, but yeah, we're looking at some of the Wildstorm properties. Definitely, that's definitely a possibility.
That'd be great.
Marvel, no.
Marvel, no.
I mean, I've been at Warner Brothers, as of next month, I will have been at Warner Brothers 20 years.
Oh, yeah.
Which is crazy, but because I don't feel that old, but I know I'm old. And I'm comfortable at Warner Brothers. I mean, it's a great place to work. I don't plan on going anywhere else. But if I wanted to make a Captain Marvel movie, I would have to leave Warner Brothers. So that's not going to happen.
So you're good with the toys you get to play with in the DC universe.
Absolutely.
It's weird for you, Bruce, to see shirts of your design on Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman. I mean, you're literally sculpting these legendary characters for a new generation. When you see a kid playing with that toy, what goes through your head?
It's old hat to me, Pat. I'm so used to it. I mean, at first it was really cool. When the first wave of Batman toys came out, that was awesome. I bought every single one. But I actually get rid of them now because it's like, I got too many of these things. It's like, it doesn't do anything for me. It's cool. It's nice to know that I've had that much of an impact on a generation of comic book fans. But
Speaking of designs, who did the one in this one? You or Lauren?
Oh, Lauren designed most of the main characters, including Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor and Hippolyta and Artemis. So Ares.
What's your role these days? Are you still involved in the animation department?
I am. I still look at all the models, but fortunately, now that I'm working with really, really brilliant people like Lauren, who's not just talented at artist, but she has a really good sense of taste and knows what will work in animation and what doesn't. So I can leave a lot of the day-to-day approvals up to her. I still ultimately have the final approval on everything, but half the time when they show me a stack of models, I say, "Oh, has Lauren seen them?" And they'll say, "Yeah." And then I just flip through them. I was like, "Okay, they're fine then," because
When you're making a movie like this in this day and age where the audience is demanding more realism from their movies, do you almost feel that you have to include some attrition on the hero side where, if they get everything they want, the day is saved, they lose nothing, no one's going to believe it? Do you feel like they have that the hero has to lose something in order for audiences to believe that it's real?
I hadn't actually thought of it in those terms, but I'm a big fan of character suffering. Definitely, I love to put our characters through the ringer. I have a tendency to like kind of semi-dark, unhappy endings, but these movies so far, they're not structured that way yet. Really, they're again kind of going for that blockbuster summer movie, tentpole movie kind of feel. They usually have a pretty upbeat finale, but it's a good thought though. I'll have to keep that in mind. Attrition, I like that.